we like to check in with Village Management Services, see what's going on in here in the village, and we want to welcome Siobhan Foster, our CEO for VMS. Thanks for joining us, as always.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Now, we got a big kind of issue that's coming up at the FCC, and it's about broadband bulk billing. We have a system here in the village that we use, but there could be some major changes to that if the FCC gets its way, I suppose.
That's correct. There's an FCC proposal. Again, that's the Federal Communications Commission. And it is to ban bulk billing arrangements in apartments, condominiums, housing corporations, and other multi-tenant communities. And here in Laguna Woods Village, we're one of the few HOAs that has its own broadband network.
Right.
And we're also a member of a consortium, the National Content and Technology Cooperative, and we buy our programming through that consortium to keep our prices low.
Right, so we exercise that bulk billing practice here, right, in terms of like negotiating the best price for internet services, broadband, television, and all of those things, right?
Correct.
And so that could go away. That seems like a challenge for us.
It certainly is.
We wouldn't want that. So, what are some of the arrangements that we have for condos and HOAs and those kinds of things?
First of all, I want to mention that our current budget for programming is $4.5 million in 2024, and the ban of bulk billing would nearly triple the cost to the village.
Okay.
So $4.5 million this year, and we're looking at possibly a triple of the cost if this FCC proposal moves forward.
Right, because those negotiated deals for the bulk prices just go away, right? And that would be kind of crazy for us.
Correct. So we're really asking our residents to help us by contacting our representatives to express their support for bulk billing arrangements and concern for the adverse impact this could have on the village, especially those on fixed incomes.
Right, absolutely. So folks can contact Congresswoman Young Kim, and we have her website up there, as well as U.S. Senator Alex Padilla, and the website's up there as well.
Correct. And then we also have the FCC Commissioner contact information, the House Subcommittee on Communications and Technology, and the Senate Subcommittee on Communications, Media, and Broadband. So we encourage a broad outreach to our representatives as well as those folks listed on the screen before you.
Yeah, it could make a big impact and big changes here in the community. So, and lots of more costs, which nobody wants.
Correct.
Right? We're going to do our best to avoid that. All right. Well, thanks for covering that for us.
Sure.
Asbestos abatement. There's a process that we have, but we want to maybe see if we can simplify that here in some of the manners, right?
Right. We've been trying to schedule a meeting or a town hall with the AQMD, the Air Quality Management District, who governs this process. They've been unwilling or unable to attend a town hall meeting. So in lieu of that, we are partnering with the city and the AQMD to try to clarify the process and provide members the information they need to expedite and complete alterations. So to that end, we're asking residents to share their questions, confusion about the abatement process for asbestos, and to email those questions to alterations@vmsinc.org by April 29th. And to include asbestos in the subject line when they send those emails.
And maybe even folks who've actually gone through the process and they give some feedback on, hey, here's where you go here, here's the tough part we'd love to streamline or something like that. Like they've gone through it and like here are the do's and don'ts and the pitfalls of this process, right?
Certainly, that would be great. And the end result will be an easy to reference brochure for our residents and their contractors.
That would be great. Okay. We have a community tour. We used to have docents and we used to do those things, but now it's all virtual video, right?
Yes, we've our Media and Communications Division has partnered with Village Television to produce a community tour experience. It's a digitized docent tour of the village for primarily prospective residents. It's about 20 minutes long and it takes viewers to all the destinations that the tour used to go to, and then some. And it's now available on the village website. You click on the community tour experience link, and that's on the homepage.
And this is kind of like it's a great tour, great video, but it also was a cost saving, right, to the community, as we had docents, we had the vans, we had all those kinds of things, appointments, and it was kind of a process to organize those tours.
Correct, and then oftentimes people would cancel, and then we'd be left with vacancies and so forth. So we're giving this a try.
Okay, well, let's see how it goes.
Thank you.
Speaking of people who have good ideas and some good suggestions, we have Employee Excellence Awards. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So these awards are presented in the fall and the spring, and yesterday we had the spring award ceremony. These awards recognize outstanding employees who demonstrate excellent customer service, achieve great results on projects, and regularly go above and beyond regular job duties. They're professionals who simply make a difference in our community, and I'd like to highlight them and hope that our residents would thank them the next time they interact with them.
Well, you got one right there in your own office.
I do.
I bet you're familiar with this person.
Yes, the first recipient is Paul Wynn. He's our Assistant Corporate Secretary. And as everyone knows, the governance process here is complex. And over the past few months, Paul demonstrated exceptional leadership. Our office was down to one employee for a happy occasion, a maternity leave. But Paul was able to keep all the trains running on time and on track by leveraging help when he needed it, coordinating with all the different departments and stakeholders, including the board presidents. So we just want to recognize Paul for his outstanding
And I'm familiar with Paul's name because a lot of times I'll read announcements about who to contact, and it's Paul Wynn in the CEO's office. So I know he does a lot of work and works with a lot of residents in the associations as well.
He does. Another unsung hero is Scott Kim. He's a stock clerk in our warehouse, and he's been diligently rearranging the warehouse layout and shelving to maximize available space. He's added 15 plus racks to the warehouse in the past year.
Wow.
And allowed for 100% increase in holding capacity for washers and dryers deployed in the mutuals.
Well, that saves you from having to get a whole other building for that, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's done a great job. In general services, we recognized Neva Farmbra, I'm sorry if I mispronounced her name. She's a bus driver. She was recognized by her supervisor due to her exceptional performance, driving and caring for residents with respect, kindness, and patience.
Yeah, and that's a great, in a community like this, with all the different folks and their different mobility needs and those kinds of things, it's wonderful that Neva, takes the time and makes sure she's making everybody feel a little bit special, which is great.
She does, and some of the letters we get about her are just really heartwarming.
Ah, that's terrific. Now this guy, I don't know about this one. I want to make it, was there a vote? Can we get a recount?
Preston Higgins is a production coordinator here in Village Television. And he's been recognized numerous times for his professionalism and the quality of his work by residents, by peers, and by clients. And I just would like to read one example from a Village resident. I just watched Discovering Laguna Woods show that aired at 9:30. Well done. It was interesting and informative, but better yet, the quality was excellent.
There we go. I know Preston very well, working with every day, so he knows I'm joking around. He's a great guy.
We also recognized Guadalupe Hinojosa. He's a Village Television broadband technician, and he's incredibly dependable, knowledgeable, and passionate about his job and work duties. Paul Ortiz gave a great example of how he assisted during a large Edison outage. He made sure everything went as best as it could and stayed on scene until the outage was resolved.
That's terrific.
In our Human Resources Department, Dan Yost, our risk manager, was recognized. He was recognized for delivering results on time and achieving cost savings while managing the village's insurance portfolio. And he also has taken on additional responsibilities such as outsourcing our safety program for our employees. And this is providing a greater level of expertise and more redundancy so our employees can have a safe workplace.
Sounds like a lot of folks doing terrific work and stepping up, and landscaping is doing that as well.
Yes. One example is Omar Cardiel. He's a foreman for one of our ticket crews. He consistently goes above and beyond to ensure landscaping practices are executed with precision and care. And he has an infectious, positive attitude that motivates his team.
Oh, that's fantastic. And we got another one from landscaping, too.
We do. Francisco Uribe is our go-to person for our mulch program. He is responsible solely for producing the mulch that is dispersed throughout our community, not only taking the clippings and generating the mulch, but making sure we stay in line with all the regulations that we must adhere to.
Okay, terrific. And then over in maintenance construction, which is, I'm sure, a challenging place to work sometimes.
Yes. We have Jolene Quinn. She's an operations specialist. She was hired originally as a temporary employee to process a backlog of damage restoration contract invoices. She came in, learned quickly, worked through that backlog, and now she's a permanent employee who's tasked with processing the most complex cases. She has great attention to detail and can work through anything.
Terrific. And also in maintenance and construction?
Yes, Gavin Fogg is a manor alterations supervisor. He's a conscientious contributor and has really worked to improve customer services in that area and identify efficiencies.
Yeah, and he's so busy, he's working so much he couldn't even stand still for a picture. He did not have the time.
In our recreation and special events department, the golf manager recognized Martin Ford. He's the golf shop coordinator. He's a resident employee who has taken on a leadership role in that area. He's streamlined processes on the business side of the golf course with a focus on the monthly billings. And his efforts has allowed that operation to also manage now our garden centers.
Terrific.
We also had Ron Spencer, a senior recreation leader, recognized in recreation for creating a faster, more accurate, and user-friendly process to recognize utilization data at each of our facilities and amenities. And then he took it a step further and trained all the recreation staff on how to use the new tool.
There we go. And then resident service is an important part of what we do here, right?
Yes. Rebecca Kunciaki is our concierge at the front desk down in the community center, and she's made a huge difference in a short time. She has genuine compassion and concern for everybody she encounters, and she has just been a superstar and is always being recognized by our residents.
And then we got a last couple from security services, which is a vital role that we do here in the village.
Yes. In the compliance division, we have Bliselda Wright, a compliance supervisor. She performs at an exceptional rate on a daily basis and is often called on to handle special projects. One is by coordinating the governance aspect and serving as staff liaison for special damage restoration hearings. So in addition to her regular work, she's taken on an extra 25 to 35 cases a week and staffs a full-time meeting on Thursdays.
Okay. Last but not least.
Exactly. Bridget Portuguese is a security patrol officer here in the village, and she's been recognized for her highest level of customer service. 2 examples were cited, both where she helped residents who were locked out of their manors. In one case, she used her personal cell phone to contact a locksmith to assist the resident who was in tears. And in the other, she used available resources to locate the emergency contact who was able to come and provide a key to the resident. So again, just want to thank these exceptional employees and encourage our residents to thank them too if they should interact with them.
Great service-minded employees, a great list there. Siobhan Foster from Village Management Services, thank you very much for joining us, as always.
Thank you.
We'll see you next month.
Sounds good.
All right, tribute band for Huey Lewis and the News is up next. Stay with us.